I am Jen Cohn, voice of Pharah from Overwatch. I also voice Lord Zash from Star Wars The Old Republic, and I am also known for having done the voice of Ursa from Avatar The Last Airbender.
Has your approach to voicing Pharah changed at all since the release of the game?
The only way that my voicing of Pharah has changed is that as I've gotten deeper into her character and gotten to know her better, I sort of more instinctively go into her. I mean, I've told this story now several times, and I think twice already here at MomoCon. When I first auditioned for Pharah, I thought she was a villain, and so I did this very dastardly villainous audition, and they somehow heard through it that I would be able to do it the way it was meant to be. And so from the first session, when I found out that she actually was like the Captain America of the game, that was when I first got my teeth into her. And as the game has evolved, she has deepened as a character in my heart. So
how did you get into voice acting?
I started voice acting because I started as a regular stage and film actress, and I did a bunch of really terrible off Broadway shows, and after several of them, I would have producers come up to me and say that it would be great if I wanted to go into voice acting. And so they hired me to do some stuff. I heard a commercial since I've been here in Atlanta. Rooms to Go is in Atlanta?
Yes.
That was my first commercial gig, was Rooms to Go. So I had like that as a recurring job. But I started by doing it for independent producers. And then I got a terrible agent, and then a better agent, and a better agent, and then finally a really good one, and then it was game on.
What made you first take an interest in acting?
I wanted to be an actress from the minute I could be cognizant. I probably was in utero wanting to be an actress. I always wanted to. I always was making up voices and making up stories and acting things out, and if I was alone, I had a whole game going on in my head. And I feel like all of those qualities have led me to being a better voice actor.
So I know you recently made a Twitter, and then you've been in skits with Carolina, the Sombra's voice actor for Overwatch. What's it like being a part of like the family of voice actors? Like, do you enjoy doing that stuff? Like, what's been your favorite about that?
If you aren't aware, or if anyone isn't aware, the family, the Overwatch family, is a totally unique entity. I have never been part of a video game cast that has come together this way, where we all really have connected. I mean, it's a very singular gig when you do voiceovers, because you're alone in the booth for games. It's not like I'm ever in a session with them. And occasionally you might run into somebody else who's in a game because you'll pass each other going in or out of a studio. The fact that we all got as tight as we've gotten, and that we're all really friends, and we play together, and we do videos together, and we have dinner together, and now because of the conventions we get to travel together. It's a very special present. So they've sort of been these unexpected gifts in my life, the gang.
When you're giving a character, how do you approach getting into character? Or, well, you know how to be, just being that person doing the voice for it.
For me, the first thing is the posture. I have to look at how they stand. So how they stand dictates how they breathe, and that sort of places, you know, if you know where somebody's breathing, you know where they're creating sound. And I mean, it always helps if you can see a drawing of a character, then you get a sense of what their vibe is and what their aesthetic is. So those things inform me. And then obviously when you find out where someone is from and all that, and then once you can find their motivation and what their intentions are, then all of that information together really dictates who your character will be.
Do you and your husband feed off each other creatively?
Totally.
Even when you're not working on the same projects?
100%.
And how so?
My husband has been such a tremendous inspiration to me professionally. He is the least self-indulgent, dramatic creative I have ever met, really. He like just punches in and does his thing, and there is no like the muse has to strike. There are no histrionics. He is incredible. He is just a pack horse, and he's also a wolf in sheep's clothing. He is sweet, 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 but knows how to get things done. And he's the one who really taught me that when somebody says no, that they can't help you, or no, the thing that you want to do can't be done, it just means they can't help you and they don't know how to do it, and that you'll have to find a different path to getting it. But there is no when it comes to the entertainment industry and what you can or can't get done. So he's been a huge inspiration, and I think that both of us creatively feed each other because we're always checking in with each other about what we're working on. I have him look at things that I'm working on. He has me look at things that he's working on. We're both each other's most trusted opinion and each other's most trusted critic. And we've together in our marriage created the soil where we both have gotten to grow into these like strange creative creatures, and we both really cherish that and want each other to succeed. So it's good.
What's something you're passionate about outside of acting?
Fashion. I am very passionate about clothing and fashion trends, clothing, style, and how it relates to zeitgeist. And how it relates always, I feel like what we wear and how we present ourselves has a tremendous amount to do with the collective subconscious and what is going on in the world, and it's how we all are taking in whatever is going on in the world and then processing it and putting it back out. And it's ever evolving, and I find it fascinating. I love it. So.
You mentioned doing a villainous voice for your audition for Farah. Why did you initially approach the character that way?
When I got the description, so the way that it works, often with voiceovers, they'll send you a drawing of the character. But this was before the game was put out. It had a code name, so it was at that time it was called Prometheus. So I got sides for a game called Prometheus. Farah had a different name, I don't remember what it was. And the way they described her it was a first-person shooter game, and that she was very aggressive and strong, and the lines that they gave me for her, she sounded like a bad guy. Like I said, oh, this is a bad, it was very aggressive. And so I just I turned her into this sort of sneery villain character, and I always love a villain. A villain is fun to do. So I didn't expect it. And then what happens when you're a voice actor is you get these auditions all the time, so then you promptly forget everything that you did. And you forget that you had this audition, and so I forgot. And 6 months later, I got the call from my agent that I had booked a game called Overwatch, a character called Farah, and that my session was gonna be on my birthday. And I said, that's really great, but I didn't audition for anything called Overwatch. They must have made a mistake. There must be another Jen Cohn who's a voiceover actor, and it's theirs. And that's what I said when I went to the session. And I had Michael Chu and Jeff Kaplan and Andrea Toyas all in my headphones. And I'm like, guys, there must be another Jen Cohn voice actress. I didn't audition for this. So sorry to waste your time. Like, it's not. And they all laughed, and they played villain Farah for me. And they said, no, that's you. And I said, I don't remember that. That's that one. And that was the beginning.
Do you have any, if you don't mind, showing what villain Farah sounded like? Do you remember how you did the voice for her before they gave you what she really should have sounded like?
I should have refreshed myself. I actually recently went back to listen because I had remembered it. It would mean I have to do one of the, I don't even remember. So it was like, put your security in my hands. It was something, it was like ominous.
So how have you been able to be a hero outside of the character Farah in Overwatch?
How have I been able to be a hero outside of the game?
Yes.
That's a beautiful question. I just left a panel where someone was asking me a question about what has been my favorite part of fan interaction. And I keep getting people coming up to me saying that they follow my social media and they've seen my videos that I've done, and that I have inspired them to lean into their eccentricities and be confident about going forward and be themselves and not worry about, fitting in and not worry about, going with the flow and just being themselves. And that means so much to me. That has been a side benefit or a side gift from this experience. I really would love to continue to let people know that it is okay, and not only it's great to just be yourself and lean into yourself. So that feels heroic to me. The idea that I could mentor anyone or inspire someone to be better in their skin, or easier in their skin, easier in their life, braver about who they are, moves me to no end.
For up-and-coming voice actors or just actors in general, what's your number one advice? This is always, you'll always tell them this.
One that I love, that I learned from there's a very great stage actress named Cherry Jones, and her advice that she gives students and young actors that I've co-opted because it's so great, is that you should never confuse your self-worth with your success or lack of success in your career. And that, I feel like whenever I say that, I have to repeat it a few times because it resonates so strongly. It's so easy when you're riding high on the horse to think that makes you something great, or if you're not doing anything that makes you feel really low or worthless. You have to keep them two completely separate things. You are always you always have value, you're always your own special thing, and where your career is should not be the indicator of where your worth is. Hugely important. The no, that the thing about don't hear a no. I always tell young people, and this is one that my husband taught me, that you can't treat your career like it's a delicate little egg. You can't be afraid, if I do something wrong, it will crack, I'll drop it or something. You have to treat your career like a Tonka truck. You have to treat your career like something that you can smash into walls and get scratched and get dinged and not worry about it. Know that your career will be strong enough and tough enough to take it, because then you will be willing to take risks and you'll be willing to fail. You have to be willing to take risks and fail and try everything you want to try. You should always do everything. Whatever turns you on, you should do, because you never know how your weird interests will come together. My career almost makes no sense with the variety of things that I do, but they've come together because they're all things that I love and they've all been things I've pursued. And the things I regret are the things I haven't pursued, not any of the stuff that I've done. You never know exactly how your unique career will come together unless you're willing to try everything and fail and smash into walls. So you've done voice acting for other games and other stuff. Do you delve deep into actually playing the games or just watching the shows, or I guess even for Overwatch, the Overwatch League, do you try to go out to sort of learn more about the actual product itself? I try to learn about the product. I'm not in general a big gamer. I have played Overwatch a couple of times. I'm really terrible at it. Like I said, the hand-eye coordination thing is not my specialty. But I definitely take pains to know what's going on, to understand what's going on with the updates. I like to see what the shows are. When you're doing, you're not given information about what is going to happen in a game or in a show when you record your lines. Mm-hmm. You just record them and you give it to them, and they're out in the ether. You have no idea how they're going to be used or what the purpose is or how that will come together. So I like staying on top of it just so I know what's out there in the world with my voice on it.